Among the Sox all-time leaders in 12 categories, Bobby Doerr. He is 5th on the all-time homer list, including over 40 homers 8 times in his career, leading the league 6 times. Hall of Famer Harmon Killebrew. He helped the Yankees to a record 5 straight World Championships from 1949 through 53. A 9-time All-Star, elected to the Hall of Fame in 1981. Let's greet the big cat, Johnny Mize. Now here are the players from the American League All-Star heroes. National League Rookie of the Year with the Phillies in 1964, an MVP in 1972 with the White Sox, a 7-time All-Star, Dick Allen. In 1971, he won both the MVP and Cy Young Awards with 24 wins and a 1.82 ERA with 8 shutouts. Vida Blue. 5 times he hit 30 homers and stole 30 bases in a season. He belted 332 home runs, was an all-star in both leagues. Bobby Bonds. He led the American League in stolen bases 6 times, stealing over 50 bases on 7 occasions. He's known as Campy. Bert Campaneris. 21st on the all-time home run list with 414 homers. The oldest player to win a home run crown when he hit 40 with Detroit, the age of 38. Please welcome Darrell Evans. He had 6 20-win seasons. He led the league in strikeouts 7 times, 46 career shutouts, and the only opening day no-hitter ever. Rapid Robert Bob Feller. A member of the Cincinnati Reds championship Big Red Machine. His son will be here representing the Mariners tomorrow. Please welcome Ken Griffey Sr. He hit 563 career home runs. He appeared in 12 All-Star games and 71 postseason games. He is forever known as Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. Six straight seasons, he won 20 or more games, including a Cy Young season in 1971. He is a 1991 Hall of Fame inductee, Ferguson Jenkins. He hit over 309 times, including 8 in a row. He is a 10-time All-Star, was voted into the Hall of Fame in 1983. George Kell. He is the last pitcher to win 30 games, 31-6. In 1968, he won the American League MVP and the Cy Young honors as he led the Tigers to the World Championship. Denny McLain. He hit over 311 times, including 9 consecutive 300 seasons. A 7-time All-Star, Al Oliver. A 16-year career, which included 2 All-Star games and a World Series ring with the '85 Royals. George Orta. 5 times he won 20 games. The only man to win the Cy Young Award in both leagues, as evidenced by his uniform today. 5-time All-Star and Hall of Famer, Gaylord Perry. This catcher caught over 1,500 games in his 17-year career. He hit 188 career home runs, a 4-time All-Star, Darrell Porter. He holds numerous World Series records, including playing in an amazing 30 consecutive series games. The MVP of the 1960 series from the New York Yankees, Bobby Richardson. The MVP in 1968, the World Series MVP in 1970. One of the greatest third basemen ever to play the game. His nickname is the human vacuum cleaner. He defines third base. Brooks Robinson. He made one of the World Series best remembered catches in Game 2 of the 72 series to preserve the A's 2-1 win. Joe Rudy. This is the only catcher to win 6 Gold Glove awards. He is a 3-time All-Star from the Texas Rangers, Jim Sundberg.
Well, there's another lineup that Dave Campbell and I wouldn't have made. Now, we'll be back with the National League heroes right after this.
Great things happen when you put on a uniform. Aerotex, America's largest uniform service company.
There's nothing hotter. It's Craftsman Hot Buys at Sears. This Craftsman half-horsepower garage door opener with 2 3-function transmitters is a sizzling $149.99. The hottest buys this summer are at Sears right now.
When you've got a tough case of athlete's foot, the itching, the cracking, the burning, you want a medicine that acts tough. Tough Actin Tenactin.
Clinically proven Tenactin cures even the tough cases of athlete's foot fungus. Get Tough Actin Tenactin.
Now let's meet the National League squad. The manager today, one of only 2 managers to skipper 3 different teams to the World Series. He led the Padres to their only series appearance in '84, Dick Williams. He spent 9 years in the big leagues as a player and now is in the broadcaster's wing of the Hall of Fame. And he is the president of the baseball assistance team, which benefits from these games. Please welcome Joe Garagiola. He managed Kansas City, Oakland, and San Diego. He has earned the nickname of Trader Jack as a general manager, Jack McKeon. He won 20 or more games, 6 consecutive years, a 5-time All-Star, elected to the Hall of Fame in '76, Robin Roberts. A 10-time All-Star and a career 300 hitter known for the great Mad Dash. The Hall of Famer since 1985, Enos Slaughter. Now let's meet the National League players. He hit 512 career home runs, won consecutive MVP awards and RBI titles, a 13-time All-Star. He is known as Mr. Cub. Let's play 2, Ernie Banks. Over 3,000 hits, 938 stolen bases. He is the holder of the series stolen base mark and a first ballot Hall of Famer, Lou Brock. The National League Rookie of the Year in 1958 and the National League MVP for the '67 World Champion Cardinals, nicknamed the Baby Bull, Orlando Cepeda. He is a 3-time All-Star, once had 5 home runs and 13 RBIs in 1 doubleheader. Nate Colbert. Behind this bullpen ace The A's ran off 3 straight World Championships. In 1981, he won both the Cy Young and the MVP, and he is the newest member of the Hall of Fame, Rollie Fingers. He played in a National League record 1,207 consecutive games, a 10-time All-Star, twice voted All-Star MVP. You know him here, Steve Garvey. One of the greatest competitors the mound has ever seen. Winner of 2 Cy Young Awards, threw a no-hitter, and elected to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot, Bob Gibson. The regular shortstop of the '69 Miracle Mets. He played 10 years and then went on to manage in New York, Bud Harrelson. A great relief pitcher, Fireman of the Year in 1975, nicknamed the Mad Hungarian, and you'll see why. Al Harbowski. This man hit 442 home runs in a 16-year career. He hit over 30 of them 7 times and was a 3-time All-Star. Big Dave Kingman. He won 20 or more games 6 times, a 10-time All-Star, elected to the Hall of Fame in '83. The man with a high leg kick, Juan Marichal. His dramatic home run in Game 7 of the 1960 World Series is one of baseball's greatest highlights. The only home run ever to win a World Series, 5-time All-Star, Bill Mazeroski. A 2-time All-Star. His dramatic home run for the Dodgers won the 1981 National League Championship Series against Montreal. From San Diego, Rick Mundy. An outstanding player for 22 years. He hit 390 home runs. A 2-time Gold Glove winner and a 6-time All-Star, Greg Nettles. He is the winningest pitcher in Expos history. His best year came in '82 when he won 19 games and led the league in ERA. He is a 5-time All-Star, Steve Rogers. This hero played in 2 World Series as the Pirates' regular catcher. He hit over 304 times and was a 3-time All-Star. From Pittsburgh, Manny Sanguillen. The first Hall of Famer to hit 20 or more homers for 13 straight seasons. He hit 426 in his career. From the Cubs, Billy Williams. One of the best base stealers the game has ever known, this '62 National League MVP, played on 3 world champions, a 6-time All-Star, Maury Wills. And the co-MVP of the '81 World Series, a career .298 hitter and 4 homers in 4 fall classics, Steve Yeager. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a great honor to present 2 very special guests here today. He played on 9 World Championship teams in 13 big league seasons, all of them with the New York Yankees. He hit over 311 times. He collected over 125 RBIs each of his first 6 years, including 167 in 1937. He is a career .325 hitter, and he is owner of one of baseball's most remarkable records, a 56-game hitting streak over 50 years old. Elected to the Hall of Fame in 1955, ladies and gentlemen, the Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio. And the final introduction today, this is my hero, the greatest player ever to wear a Red Sox uniform, one of the greatest hitters ever in this game. He hit .317 or better every one of his first 17 years, including the historic .406 average in 1941. He is an 18-time All-Star, a 2-time MVP, a 2-time Triple Crown winner, a 6-time batting champion, and a lifetime .344 hitter. He was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1966, and for many of us, he is baseball. The splendid splinter, Ted Williams.
With truly a couple of legends, Joe, let's first talk to you about your many All-Star appearances, 13. Of all the accomplishments, the 56-game hitting streak and ever, what do you remember about All-Star appearances?
I remember my first one. We lost that game, and I think I was responsible. And the sticks in my mind after all these years. I came up with the bags loaded to maybe redeem myself. And I hit a line drive right at the shortstop, Leo DeRocha, and he started to leap up in the air, and the ball took a dip, and he caught it by his ankles. And that was a very disappointing day to me, and I still remember it very, very vividly.
That shows you exactly how competitors think. Ted, yesterday had to be a wonderful day for you, quite an honor. You're back home where it all started. Of all the baseball experiences, this has to rank right there with them.
Well, this has been a great thrill for me the last 2 or 3 days. To be back in San Diego where they name a highway for me, where I used to hunt rabbits and quail out there, and to see all my many friends that I have here in San Diego, an old ball player that came back and they named a highway after him. It'll help them not to forget Williams. And my daughter told me before I left, she says, tell him to drive safely.
Ted Williams, Joe DiMaggio, my heroes too, and now to Gary Thorne and Dave Campbell.
Thank you very much, Tommy, and I wasn't kidding when I said he was my hero.
I'll tell you what, you can quit for the day. You've had your thrill. Ted Williams, your all-time boyhood idol.
I'll tell you, growing up in New England, watching him play was something special, and he also has some special connections here in San Diego. In 1937, the San Diego Padres won the Pacific Coast League Championship off the bat of an 18-year-old local boy named Ted Williams. The future Hall of Famer from Hoover High School batted .291, hit 23 home runs, and had 98 RBI. And this morning, there's a new sign on California Highway 56 here in San Diego. Yesterday, community leaders, fans, and even current Hoover High players proclaimed Ted Williams Day, and they dedicated the new parkway in honor of the area's most famous athlete.
Younds up. Deadpool hitter. With power to right. Move!
Nobody does baseball like Upper Deck. Look for 2,500 personally autographed cards by Johnny Bench and Joe Morgan now in Upper Deck foil packs.
This year, Kraft is helping to feed our athletes as they train for the 1992 U.S. Olympic team, giving our best as they give theirs. Because we know after a hard day's work, there's nothing better than coming home to a good meal. Kraft, setting the training table for the 1992 U.S. Olympic team.
Watch, and maybe you'll see another perfect game at the Rocky Mountain Senior Classic. Then on Top Rank Boxing, Sammy Fuentes battles Charles Murray.
Knockdown Thursday.
Usually when you're making out a lineup for a Major League Baseball game, it's pretty serious stuff and sometimes difficult. But wait a minute.
These guys. I'm going to start with Maury Wills at shortstop. And then Harrelson will back him up.
Well, I don't plan on much speed up top or at the bottom or in the middle with this lineup and the age bracket we're in.
I'll tell you, in his age bracket, though, a 20-game winner 7 times. And in our Heroes game today, Bob Lemon will be managing the American League team, and the lineup he'll put out looks like this. One of the all-time great infielders, Bert Campaneris, leading it off. He'll be playing at shortstop. Bobby Richardson, a great Yankee second baseman. He'll be followed by Brooks Robinson, the definition of third base. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. Al Oliver, 7-time All-Star, both leagues. Joe Rudy, some magnificent memory home runs. Darrell Evans behind the plate for the Tigers. Dick Allen, nobody hit the ball harder. Jim Sundberg, 6 Gold Gloves as a catcher. They start in our Heroes game for the American League.
Let's check the defense for the National League. It'll be Greg Nettles, great third baseman. Maury Wills at short. Bill Mazeroski with 8 Gold Gloves at second base. And Steve Garvey, just a quick scratch. We got Dave Kingman there just now. Nate Colbert will be in left. Lou Brock in center. And Billy Williams in right. Manny Sanguillen is the catcher and a 9-time Gold Glove winner. Amongst his many accomplishments, Bob Gibson, 1.12 earned run average. 1968, he also had 13 shutouts that year.
The umpire at seat behind the plate and senior man.
Sometimes order is the key word of the day. Well, not today. The order could be anything they darn well want it to be.
You bet.
At least Bert Campaneris is going to lead it off, and he'll be doing it against Bob Gibson. John Kibler is the man behind the plate working with that crew. Umpires themselves who put in some magnificent years in Major League Baseball. Bob Gibson to Campaneris, and our 1992 Upper Deck Heroes of Baseball games underway.
Now Kibler's 0 for 1. It was outside.
Careful, we're at field level. Nobody even came close. Lou Brock in center field, getting it back in, and Campaneris leads the game off with a single.
Well, Bob Gibson on the hill today. The only stipulation he had pitching today was that Ernie Banks had to be a DH. We did the Heroes game in Chicago 2 years ago, and Ernie didn't have too much range. So Ernie's DHing today.
It was one of the great Yankees. Bobby Richardson, he and Tony Kubek played some great infield together. That's going to fall in front of Billy Williams. Campy still got some speed. He's trying to go to first to third on a single and does.
Well, Gibby elevating the ball. He probably is still shell-shocked from that 90 game when he gave up all the ground balls and went for hits. First and third, nobody out, and here's Brooks.
If they only threw this fast during the regular season, we'd be in great shape, wouldn't we? Of course, there aren't a lot of signs to be given. Brooks Robinson.
Gibby tuned it up about, he's looking in at Brooks right now. He tuned that up to about 83 miles an hour. He said enough of this stuff.
Gibby will throw whatever he can. If he can throw a fastball, he'll get up. If he can throw a breaking ball, he'll do that too.
Yeah, Gibby's philosophy is why allow the hitters to think on my time. Get it and throw it. Used to take a little more time than this, but not much.
Brooks chases one. Since we are right down here at field level, foul balls will be a bit of a concern today, I just realized.
Remember, I was not noted for my defense. Of course, I wasn't noted for my offense either.
I'm quick to go under the table, though. Now, look at this. They've loaded this up for guess who? Mr. October. That's where we are located, right down on the field here, third base side.
Probably real close if Al Roboski, the Matt Hungarian, comes in. I better get a glove.
And here's Reggie. Reggie doing a great deal of work for the Upper Deck Baseball Card Company, the sponsors of this, and of course the baseball assistance team, as Joe Garagiola talked about benefits with the monies that come from this to help former major leaguers and their spouses. Look at this. Reggie's still been playing some. Deep right field. Reggie Jackson. Grand slam home run.
Reggie's thinking about two things, how great it is and how good it will be not to face Gibson again today.
He better not or he'll get hit. Al Oliver swinging some pretty good bats. Bill Mazeroski. And over to Garvey at first base, and Oliver's retired. How about that? Some of the magic never fades.
563 in his career. It could be. It may be. Reg got it, and he didn't want to even look at Gibson.
That was in the power alley. Gibson's all done for the day. Gibby is out of there. Jackson, his fame has just increased by another measure with a grand slam home run. Don't you think Gibson's going to hear about that? There's Gibby. Gibby's come out of the game now. We'll see a lot of pitchers being run in and out of here before this day is over. Joe Rudy is waiting with one down here, and Juan Marichal from the San Francisco Giants is on for Gibson.
The Dominican dandy, Juan Marichal, Hall of Fame, 10 shutouts, 1965, 244 complete games in his career. Sometimes teams don't do that over 10 years anymore.
Still a big windup, and that still has that high kick. Joe Rudy is the man he's facing at the plate. Rudy up with one down and nobody on after Oliver became the first out of the inning. I tell you, these guys are swinging a pretty good bat. Nate Colbert. 2 down.
The influence of Juan Marichal still felt in the major leagues. Dennis Eckersley said that Marichal was his idol. He patterned his high leg kick after Marichal.
Well, Marichal gets the second out here in the first inning. And that will bring up the former Detroit Tiger. A couple of Tigers on hand today. This is one of them, Darrell Evans. George Kell is the other. 2 down. Manny Sanguillen, by the way, is behind the plate for the battery for these National League Upper Deck heroes.
One of the two ugliest uniforms in the history of baseball. The other one belonged to the Padres about 1972, and I got to wear it. It was all yellow.
Amazing what some of those colors were. That,
thank God we're getting back to tradition.
Mr. Finley helped promote along the way with the orange baseball and everything else. Evans with a 3-0 count on him. Just a beautiful day here in San Diego, but I tell you, for the just standing out there for the introductions, it is some warm in this sun here. Evans fouling it back 3-1. We'll see everybody who's here today get into this ball game, of course, and what a huge crowd on hand here at Jack Murphy Stadium. A tremendous crowd. Right field, Billy Williams. And he's got it, but what a first inning to open up this Upper Deck Heroes All-Star game. Reggie Jackson with a grand slam home run. Give me 3 shots.
Some days you just can't lose. Wanna live, wanna spread the news. Some days you feel so good. Gotta smile, gotta knock on wood.
A great day calls for a great beer. The Michelob beers, with its smooth, classic taste you don't find every day.
Michelob, some days. Michelob, some days. Michelob, some days are better than others.
Have you ever had an instant party? It's easy, and you don't need balloons. Just stop by Subway and order a sack of different subs. Take them home and slice them up and serve them family style. It's more fun because everyone gets a taste of everything. So if you need to feed 100 people on short notice, if unexpected guests drop by unexpectedly, or you just don't feel like cooking dinner tonight, pick up a sack of subs at Subway. We specialize in solving emergencies with food.
For more information on these and other fine sandwiches, visit the Subway near you.
At age 74, I'm the oldest Ironman triathlete.
Jim Ward has a hobby. It's called staying young.
It's a workout.
That's why he uses Armor All protectant on his dash, seats, and especially his tires. Rubber can age and crack, but Armor All penetrates to keep his tires looking like new. Jim says his tires never seem to get old. People say the same thing about Jim.
I like a good-looking car. It makes me feel good.
There is a fountain of youth, and we own the patent. Armor All.
I gotta run.
It's the bottom of the ninth, 1 out, a runner on third. You're down by 1, so you strategize. The signal goes in, and the suicide squeeze is on. Urona takes an easy lead off third because he doesn't want to tip the pitcher that the batter's going to bunt, which he does, and your guy knows it's good, and he's screaming down the chalk. The pitcher's only play is first, and you eat the sacrifice for an RBI and a brand new game. That's the suicide squeeze, and that's baseball.
A message from Major League Baseball.
Drive a little. You'll save a lot at Bob Tatone Ford's Summer Truck Clearance Sale. 1992 Rangers as low as $82.95 after rebate. It's one low price and no payments till October.
Get ready to own from Bob Tatone.
That's Bob Tatone Ford in Fairborn.
Wouldn't it be great if you could buy a 1992 Cougar or Sable at a used car price? Well, what are you waiting for? Drive a little and save a lot today. Due to a special factory purchase of Lincoln Mercury Division program cars, Mark Tatone in Fairborn will save you thousands of dollars on a fully equipped 1992 Cougar or Sable. With prices as low as $13,990, you just can't afford to miss this sale. So save time and save money at the Miami Valley's Lincoln Mercury sales leader, Mark Tatone, Lincoln Mercury in Fairborn.
ESPN's cooking up a Tuesday night special of Surf and Turf. A sizzling serving of hot summer nights is a tasty appetizer. Then move on to the main course, a hefty portion of America's favorite pastime. ESPN's Tuesday night special, Surf and Turf. Just make sure you clean your plate.
In our Heroes Upper Deck All-Star Game today, let's take a look at the National League lineup. Decided by their skipper, Dick Williams, one of only 2 managers to take 3 different teams to the World Series. He will have, leading off at shortstop from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Murray Wills. Lou Brock will follow him in center field. Mr. Baseball from Chicago, Billy Williams will bat third. Ernie Banks from the Cubs will be the designated hitter. Both San Diego and L.A. had Steve Garvey. Nate Colbert had one fantastic day we'll be telling you about. Craig Nettles made his mark in the infield. This guy made his mark with a World Series home run. From behind the plate of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Manny Sanguillen. They start in our Heroes game for the National League.
Checking the defense, 16 Gold Gloves for Brooks Robinson. Burt Campaneris at short, Bobby Richardson at second, and Darrell Evans at first. Joe Rudy, 3 Gold Gloves in left. Al Oliver in center. Reggie already made his mark at right. Jim Sundberg, 6 Gold Gloves in the American League, and Bob Feller on the mound.
There he is. He still travels around the country, puts on pitching exhibitions, and in fact has you can hit against him. He used to put on exhibitions where all of you out there as fans could stand in and actually take a shot. Bob Feller. Murray Wills of the Los Angeles Dodgers will be leading it off here. It'll be Wills, Brock, and Billy Williams for the National League All-Stars, who find themselves down 4-0 on Reggie's grand slam. Right off the end. Brooks, it's the kind you used to make. And almost did again. Just a little longer run than it was then, that's all.
Typical Dodger rally of 1962. Swinging bunt, stolen base, ground ball to the right side, and a bloop. That's how the Dodgers won with that great pitching. Brooks doesn't bend over with quite as much agility as he used to. Darrell Evans. Darrell, you got to stay on the base to get the out, pal.
It's a long reach, though. Here's one of the classiest guys baseball has ever had involved in it, Lou Brock. And he still can swing the bat. Reggie, Kenya. Wall. Reggie off the end of the glove. Murray Wills on his way to third. He'll stop there on the relay taken by Bobby Richardson.
Well, for those who watch Reggie play defense for a number of years, they'd say pretty typical. He drove in 4. He's probably going to let him do. Tough sun out there in right field, though. Reggie gave it a good battle as Brock got out on the front foot, hit it a long ways. Reggie looking right up in that sun now. Reaches, goes for the Willie Mays basket catch, and can't quite come up with it. But Reg, grand slam homer. You've given us the throw for the day.
So Bob Feller's got a couple on, and here's Billy Williams from the Chicago Cubs. These guys have such a great time together. You would think, I suspect, as most fans would, that the players see each other often in the course of seasons and as years go by, but that's not the case. Many of them do not see one another, except on occasions such as this, as they are scattered around. He pulls it down to one knee, in fact.
Billy trying to get out in front and go deep. 426 lifetime home runs for Billy Williams. Batting title 1972. Hall of Famer. 290 lifetime average for Billy Williams, who, I'll tell you, when I played against this guy, he hit the hardest balls at me at second base of anybody in the National League.
Bob Feller, Bill Williams. Runners in scoring position here for him with a 3-1 count. They had their big banquet last night. All had the opportunity to share some times together along with wives. Many had children that they have brought with them for this classic. That one right down the line. Reggie in foul territory will put it away. Maury Wills will tag up and he will score. And Lou Brock makes his way over to third. Our Tour de France coverage will continue here on ESPN tomorrow at 5. You will see stage 10, which covers 134 miles. And that's coming up on ESPN tomorrow at 5. And Greg LeMond, more and more looking like he's got himself in that position he likes to be in at this point of the race. Tour de France, ESPN. He is done. Bob Feller is on his way out of the game.
Well, he deserves a rest because the man pitched 36 complete games in 1946. He got the most out of that arm anybody could ask for.
And on the mound, Ferguson Jenkins.
Cy Young Award winner 1971 with the Texas Rangers, 25-12 to the Hall of Fame last year, 1991. Fergie, the only pitcher in history to strike out 3,000 and walk less than 1,000. Glad to see he finally made it.
Wearing the uniform of the Texas Rangers.
And he will face, with a runner at third in Lou Brock, Ernie Banks, working as the designated hitter in this game. A couple of Cubs back-to-back in this order who spent some time destroying pitching. Billy Williams, who was just up with the sacrifice fly, and Ernie Banks, the DH in this game.
Ernie looking for something up. Fergie throwing it at the knees so far.
He still looks pretty fluid.
Very much so. 8 times he won 20 or more. Ferguson Jenkins spent the majority of his career with the Cubs, but some great years with Texas, also with Boston.
1-2 to Banks. He's got himself an RBI. Yeah, these offensive guys still have it. That'll score Lou Brock. A couple of runs in here, 4-2, and now the American on top.
442 to be exact. Dave Kingman, one of the great sluggers.
By the stash, you know him.
Raleigh going into the Hall of Fame this August in Cooperstown. First reliever, 341 saves. First pure reliever. Hoyt Wilhelm certainly qualifies in that role also, but Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Fame this year.
There is Dave Kingman. Dave, when you talk about baseball stories, this guy seems to always end up in the top 3 somewhere. Whoa, looked it hard. Brooks Robinson off the chest will get 1. Oh my gosh, that's not supposed to happen in this game. That was a shot by Kingman.
Brooks Robinson has a hole.
16 gold gloves for Brooks Robinson and 1 gold chest, because Brooks takes this one right off the breastbone. He got smoked. Look at the extension on Kingman. Brooks is going, whoa, this thing is coming hot. But hey, if you got the great hands, you make the play. Richardson's turn. Bobby, the throw a little bit weak.
Nate Colbert.
Brooks has got a smile on his face, but I think he's got a hole in his chest.
Yeah, he'll have an ice pack on it in about 2 minutes as soon as we get out of this inning.
2 down here. Nate Colbert, Ferguson Jenkins, squeegee. Fergie's going over to cover. There's a play for you. First baseman Darrell Evans ended up almost down at second base to make that one.
Come on, 1 inch farther. Let's go. Load up. Rotate. Explode! Go home.
Snickers Bar, the official snack food sponsor of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team. Packed with fresh roasted peanuts, thick milk chocolate, and caramel, Snickers satisfies the hunger inside you.
Good for you, kid.
Snickers salutes all the Olympic athletes whose hunger inside will never be satisfied.
Load up. Rotate. Explode.
There's a hunger inside you.
Packed with peanuts, Snickers really satisfies.
Here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego after the first inning, 4-2, the American League leading the National. And it is appropriate that Commissioner of Baseball Fay Vincent is on hand, and so is Tommy Hutton.
All right, thanks, Gary. With the Commissioner, and Commissioner, over the last couple of months, you've had some tough decisions, but this day today in the All-Star game kind of gives you a chance to just sit back and relax, doesn't it?
Well, that's right, Tommy. This is a day for baseball and not for controversy. It's a wonderful occasion, seeing these great players, and as you say, DiMaggio and Williams especially. It's a terrific mid-season opportunity for fans.
Yourself, a quick All-Star experience that you remember?
Well, I remember 1950 and Shane Dinks hitting the home run. It was an extra inning game and a very exciting one for me.
All right, thanks, Commissioner. Back to you, Gary.
Tommy, thank you very much. Commissioner could use a couple of days of relaxation.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Here's Dick Allen. Juan Marichal remains on the mound. Dick Allen chops it off. All the guys who've hit in this league, you talk to players of this day and age and before, Dick Allen's name will always come up when you're talking about people who can make as strong a contact with the baseball as anyone has ever played the game.
Well, he's one of only 9 players to hit the ball in the second deck in this stadium. He did it back in 1970. This man can flat do it. He also was fish-eyeing Marichal. Juan threw him a sidearm pitch, the first pitch, and Dick said, "What's that?"
That one's going to fall in. Rick Mundy has come in to play center field. Here's Rick.
Got it in the right spot, center field.
Dick Allen's got himself a single leading off the second inning. Mundy's playing in center. Garvey has come in to play at first base. They'll continue to shuffle folks in and out of here. Our gala coverage here on ESPN will continue tonight. It'll be 10 o'clock. The 90-minute program hosted by Chris Berman along with John Saunders, Ray Knight, and Peter Gammons. They're all on hand here in San Diego. Interviews with managers, players, fans, some of the great names in the game, writers. They're all here. They'll have it on the gala tonight.
Drop it.
Manny Sangui in the silo shot. That's a toughie. Even if you were 21.
We got Jim Sundberg, Mike. You could hear him yelling, "Drop it," and Manny did. Hey, those catchers have got to stick together. Sundberg said, "All right, attaboy, we got to stick together here, Manny. If you hit a pop-up, I'll miss it too, so you can get your hit." That sun is a little bit on the ugly side right now. Of course, if that were AstroTurf, that ball might have bounced fair.
I heard him coming up too. Marichal with the 2-1 count. Fouls that one off, 2-2. Jim Sundberg has been mic'd up.
Same as the rules as before.
talked about the bat speed. Bat speed slowed down a little bit, but so are the pitcher's fastballs. So sometimes you still get the perfect timing, just like the ball Reggie hit.
Pretty good cut, huh? Sundberg to deep left field. Nate Colbert back at the wall. Not going to get it. One hop to the 370 mark. That'll be a double. And Dick Allen will move on over to third.
Okay, Nate, we don't need our first baseman.
Hidden ball trick. Got him! Juan Marshall.
Shades of Delino to Shield. He probably saw him pull it out Jose Offerman the other day up at Dodger Stadium. Dick's still wearing that helmet on the base pass, so he's smart.
Might have been he thought it was a little too warm out there. And he wandered off third base. Marshall tagged him out. And that'll be Marshall's last act. Steve Rogers is out on the mound. The former Montreal Expo now as Juan Marshall leaves, our third pitcher.
Rogers, who holds almost every Montreal Expo pitching record except for saves. Of course, some people in Montreal will remember him best for the home run he gave up to Rick Mundy, who's now playing center field for the National League squad. Unfortunately, sometimes you get labeled with that, much like Ralph Branca, maybe with a home run for Bobby Thompson. Both those guys, though, quality individuals, Branca and Rogers. Sometimes you have the personality and temperament to overcome something like that.
Top of the order, Bert Campaneris, who's had one at bat and delivered a single. One down here, and Jim Sundberg is on at second base against Rogers, who's still bringing it pretty good. Manny Sanguillen got handcuffed on the first couple of pitches that came roaming in there.
Talk about versatility in the game. Bert Campaneris once played 9 positions in one major league game. He and Cesar Tovar are the only two to ever do that. Guys like Tony Phillips for the Tigers, they play 5, but Campaneris played 9, including pitch, in a major league game.
Chases one by Rogers. You will also hear John Kibler, home plate umpire at times here. He's been wired up and has a mic. Climb the ladder. Mundy. Sundberg at second, 2 down.
Roger Craig.
Well, it's sporting a new paint job. The Goodyear Blimp Eagle from Carson, California has been providing us with these aerial photos. These new colors symbolize the new revitalized Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Great to have them on hand with us here. Bobby Bonds.
I hope he does. Anyway, don't.
Pretty hard to hit 332 lifetime homers and maybe the second best player in your family.
And for the first few years that his son played, he thought he was back in because everybody that called a baseball game referred to Barry as Bobby. This is Bobby. 4-2 lead for the American League team. 2 down here. Jim Sundberg still on at second base. Bonds coming on for Bobby Richardson in the batting order. That'll be out of play.
Hear about that 30-30 club, 30 stolen bases, 30 home runs in a season. Last year, Ronnie Gant did it for the second year in a row, but Bobby Bonds did it 5 times in his career.
Ball, it's up. Well, they have been walking, but I can't call a strike. You got through them, too, so we'll see.
Lashes that one to left. Colbert's having a time out there. Foul ball. Sundberg go back to second. Tommy Hutton in one of the dugouts.
Yeah, all right, Gary. We're talking with Andy Van Slyke. Now, just because the Upper Deck heroes are here, tomorrow the All-Stars like to watch these guys perform. Which ones do you enjoy watching?
All of them. I tell you what, I've played against some of these guys, so I'm pretty close to be playing in this type of game before the game tomorrow.
All right, just to show you, these guys are as excited as the old-timers playing. All right, Gary, back to you.
Seen lots of the All-Stars on hand here this afternoon. The strikeout taken. Rogers gets it. 4-2, American League.
Isn't it wonderful? A tire so special, it may last as long as you own your car. The XH4. Congratulations. It's a Michelin.
Craftsman Hot Buys mean red-hot savings right now at Sears. This Craftsman professional quality 13-drawer chest and cabinet with heavy-duty casters is a sizzling deal at $299.98. The buys are red-hot this week at Sears.
It's Canseco. He's got pure power. He can drive the ball, move,
Nobody does baseball like Upper Deck. Look for 2,500 personally autographed cards by Johnny Bench and Joe Morgan now in Upper Deck foil packs.
There's a storm brewing on ESPN. Saturday Night Thunder. It's a night of lightning quick action featuring live USAC midgets and sprints. Saturday Night Thunder on ESPN.
Back at Jack Murphy Stadium, and while we have a chance, we're going to talk with Jay McCracken, who is with Upper Deck. And Jay, this spectacle for Upper Deck has to be just marvelous.
Oh, it's fantastic. When the opportunity came up for us to sponsor this program, we jumped at the chance. It's great. It's a very worthwhile cause. We're just happy to be a part of it.
And so are we. Back to Gary and Dave.
They do a tremendous job with this. Upper Deck has really made this game a very special part of the All-Star season. Nettles hits that one to left. Orders out there.
Wow, how'd he catch that ball? George Orders from Mexico. I don't know how he could lose that ball in the sun. Didn't Harry Carey say that one time?
One of the great lines of all time on the air.
There's George Order. He didn't have any trouble with that one.
There's Gaylord Perry. All the teams he's played for are listed on the front of the uniform.
All 8 of them.
Bill Mazeroski. Order, a long run. 2 down.
Boy, what defensive maneuvering by Bob Lemon, the manager of the American League team. Puts Order in, sees 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Guys are more than willing to stay in the dugout as long as they can today. Ferguson Jenkins come out to give a little water here to Gaylord. John Kibler, the umpire, is going out.
Hey!
Get back! The no fear umpire
Can you
shirt.
see all right with this on?
Gaylord's agent one time, Cav, talked to the Vaseline company about him endorsing the product, and they said, no, we soothe baby's bottoms, not baseballs.
Manny Sanguillen at the plate.
That was typical. The ball was 4 feet outside and almost on the ground, and Sanguillen swung at it. He doesn't take too many.
Pretty good arm by Kibb right there. Gaylord's got the wet baseball. Campy. Oh, Bert Campanaris. I know a couple of clubs might want to have a talk with him when this game is done.
A lot of shortstops been hurt this year.
American League leading the National 4-2.
Not long ago at Subway headquarters, our founder, Fred, had a good idea. Why not take the best part of a chicken, that being the breast, cook it the best possible way, that being slow oven roasting, and serve it on the best bread around, that being Subway's fresh baked bread. The result, the new sliced roast chicken breast sandwich. A sandwich fit for a king. And since our chicken's 93% fat-free, it's fit for fit kings too.
For more information on the new sliced roast chicken breast sandwich, visit the Subway near you.
Larson is ready. Gets the sign. 2 strikes, ball 1. Here comes the pitch. Strike 3. A no-hitter of first and base for Don Larson. Williams swings, and there's a long drive to deep right. That ball is going.
Contrary to popular belief, it's not impossible to recreate history. It just has to be done with a great deal of care. The Cooperstown Collection. It's a part of baseball you can call your own.
How about that?
A message from Major League Baseball.
What he's doing to the baseball remains to be seen. Al Herbowski, the mad Hungarian, is on to pitch for the National League All-Stars.
Boy, he's got that rosin bag going, doesn't he? Beware, though. This ball may be coming close to us.
Fear in the heart of hitters. Oh, Griffey!
That That's what you get, Ken. Dick Williams kicked him off the National League club. Ken was supposed to have his Cincinnati Reds uniform, showed up with the Mariners. He fined him, traded him to the American League.
Smoke bomb. Look at this.
I'm just glad it was a left-handed hitter up. If it's a right-hander, it would have been right at us.
Now let's see if Hrabowski can find the plate. Al's still pitching batting practice, so he's got a pretty good arm on him. There's Ken Griffey with a Mariners uniform he did bring with him.
A couple of broadcasters. Griffey broadcasting for the Mariners. Al Hrabowski works television for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Ball. Yeager's in behind the plate. Steve Yeager doing the catching now. Manny Sanguillen out of there. Bud Harrelson's come into play short. He's got himself a base hit. Ken Griffey Sr.'s on.
Here comes Mr. Grand Slam.
I'm doing horrible, man.
Outside the lines, the sport of money. Very intriguing show to be seen here on ESPN on Wednesday at 8:30, and a very important show about the effect of big business on sports. It's Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern Time, the Outside the Lines presentation of the sport of money. Reggie had the grand slam. He hit one in the power alley for that grand slam. It was over 370 feet away for Reggie Jackson. And Hrabowski puts one in.
Did you hear Garvey ask Ken Griffey how he was doing? He says, I feel awful, man.
Was that trip from home to first?
He got jammed. John Kibler calling more strikes than he used to.
Reggie's got a mic on, too. Hrabowski's going to do it again. What a cut.
Foul tip. Look at Hrabowski looking at him. 563 homers, 357 in World Series. This guy had a great year in 1975 for the Cardinals.
Appeared in 12 All-Star games.
Hrabowski in that uniform reminds me of what Kurt Flood used to say. He said the longer those uniforms stay in the closet, the smaller they get.
They gave him one.
Hey, how are you going to do that on that one? Sure.
2-2 on Reggie. He reaches and slices one into the gap. Bad part of that is that Griffey's got to run, but not too far. He's going to stop at third as Bud Harrelson relays it in, and Reggie's had a grand slam and a double.
Reggie must think it's the World Series.
One of the great sluggers in history.
From the Minnesota Twins, talking about sluggers, Reggie one of them, but so is this one. Harmon Killebrew.
Everybody always thinks that Reggie was the first guy to watch home runs. Harmon Killebrew did a pretty good job. When he hit one, he took a good look at it.
They're going to string him out. Nettles. Yeager wanted the play back at the plate's not going to get it. Garvey will just touch it up over there. Griffey will score. That makes it a 4-3, 5-2 game, rather. Reggie ended up over at third. Look at the crowd here. They have an enormous turnout here today for the Heroes game, and also, of course, for the batting practices of the American and National League teams that play here tomorrow.
San Diego was the first team back in 1978 when they hosted the All-Star game to come up with the idea of letting fans in the day before for the workouts, and it's come full circle to this. Riley Fingers, who will be inducted in the Hall of Fame in August of this year, takes over. 341 lifetime saves. Jeff Reardon just passed him up. Great years for the Oakland A's. 1.36 lifetime World Series ERA in 16 games. He knew pressure.
And Fingers goes to work to order. Mazeroski's not going to get that. Reggie's going to score. Reggie Jackson crosses the plays again. 6-2 in favor of the American League. Little relay in the outfield to get it back in. And a double Florida.
Maz has lost just a little range.
8 hits now. And here's Darrell Evans. There's the blue.
Saw a shot of Bob Lemon there, one of the great lines ever read by a newspaper man. Steve Cady of the New York Times once said, the next man that says something bad about Bob Lemon will be the first. Each year he takes a former teammate or somebody he knew very well to the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. This year he takes New York Mets scout Harry Minor.
Evans puts a souvenir out in the seats. That's a wonderful occasion to be able to take somebody like Harry Minor, who's been a long-time scout, Major League Baseball. Opportunity to go to that with a Hall of Famer. Evans has got himself the single. Order will come around to score. And it is 7-2. Darrell Evans.
Boy, some of these guys obviously have slowed down quite a bit. You look at guys like Order, the body on Dick Allen. Steve Garvey still looks terrific. We saw Bert Campanera. Some of these guys look as good as they did when they were in their most valuable years.
Kept themselves in great shape. And there is Dick Allen. 4-time National League All-Star and 3 times in the American League. He was an all-star.
Played a lot of positions, always had his helmet on. They asked him one time, where do you like to play? He says, hey, I'll play third base, left field, first base. I'll play any place but Philadelphia.
Fouls it back. And we think some of that stuff only exists from players today.
Yeah.
Well, there have always been those who spoke what they thought.
Yeah, Raleigh always did too. A couple of iconoclasts before their time.
Still has a great cut. Gets under that one a little bit. Williams coming on. Billy Williams.
He's going for the unassisted double play. He's going to match Andy Van Slyke's unassisted double play.
Darrell Evans
he got it.
Falls down. It's too hot to run. So they'll take 2 on that one. 3 more runs in for the American. They lead at 7-2.
Play like that, it's yours. After 2.5, American 7.
We take you now to Olympic sharpshooting.
Oh. The network coverage of the Olympics is good, but I wish they'd stay on all the boxing without cutting away.
Then you need the Olympics triple cast.
Now a word from our sponsor.
I love Olympic gymnastics, but it's not the same with all these commercials.
You need the Olympics triple cast.
What's the triple cast?
Only the Olympics triple cast gives you 3 cable channels that allow you to choose from all the Olympic events without commercial interruption. Finally, see all the events in their entirety 24 hours a day.
How's it work?
All you have to do is call 1-800-OLYMPIC or your local cable operator.
So we can see all the boxing we want from beginning to end?
Yeah, but only with the Olympics triple cast.
And I could follow all the gymnastics without interruptions?
With the Olympics triple cast.
We're sold. What's the price?
Call now and you'll save 70% off the day rate of $29.95. That's 15 days of incredible Olympic action for less than $9 a day. The Olympics triple cast. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC or your cable operator now.
American League leading here by a score of 7-2. We told you about Nate Colbert at the top. In 1972, Nate Colbert landed his bat in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He had an incredible day at the plate.
I wasn't going to play. I talked to Don Zimmer on the way there. I said, Zim, my back is killing me. I don't think I can make it today. And Zim knew that I would play. He says, well, I'll tell you what, big guy, just take some swings in BP. If you can't make it, then that's okay. We'll put Larry Stahl at first. So I took batting practice, and I took 10 swings. I hit all 10 pitches out of the ballpark, 7 fair, 3 foul. And Zim walks up to me and says, you can't sit out these games. And I says, I'm in there. And the first pitch in the first ball game was a slider of Ron Shula. Hit a 3-run homer. Later in that ball game, my last at bat, first pitch, I hit out a straightaway center. And so that left me at the first game. I had 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. And Zim says, big man, good game. I says, I'm not through yet, Zim. It seemed like everything they threw just came up to me and stopped right in front of me. And, I used this particular bat, and it's the only time I ever used it because I didn't like the bat. And I used it that one game, and after the game, they took it to the Hall of Fame. It's in the Hall of Fame. It's the only time it was ever used. In the bottom of the 9th, when I went out to first, The fans stood up and gave me a long standing ovation. And Rico Carty walked out from the dugout and shook my hand and says, "Big guy, I've never seen that in my whole life." And Hank Aaron stopped coming from right field and shook my hand and says, "That's the greatest thing I've ever seen."
There's a tribute for you, and there he is, Nate Colbert. What a day.
Former teammate. A couple times he hit 38 home runs for the Padres in 70 and 72, and you had it hit it over the big wall to be a home run then, not over that lower fence where Reggie hit his home run.
Denny McLain has come on to do the pitching. The Major's last 30-game winner in the Baby Bowl, Orlando Cepeda, is at the plate for the National League Upper Deck All-Stars.
1961, 46 home runs for the Bulls.
You still do it.
He used to go upstairs and get him then, and he went upstairs and did it again. Orlando Cepeda on at first base with the single off Denny McLain.
Orlando always leaves for the pinch runner. The knees, you can see he's really been crippled over the years with the bad knees, but he can still hit.
Bud Harrelson, who'd come on to play, will run for him at first base. And Steve Garvey's just been introduced. Former San Diego Padre, of course.
Once you get the bat going, you can't stop it.
Famous home run here.
Turn two. Richardson's bounced over. They got it. How about that?
I'm a low ball
Evans
hitter.
on the pick over at first base. Kevin Harris has played some shortstop too, hasn't he?
7-2. Luke Brock will try to get it going.
Seen Bobby Richardson turn a couple of times, floating gracefully here above Jack Murphy. Goodyear blipped the Eagle. John Creighton at the controls and providing the great aerial shots of Jack Murphy Stadium here in San Diego on this magnificent day, the Airship Eagle. We're delighted they have joined us here. Denny McLain has completed his work.
My old roomie in Detroit, 1969. Dennis had his own plane that year, much to Mayo Smith's consternation. So I didn't room with Denny much. He took the plane back to Detroit all the time.
Vida Blue, 71. Cy Young and MVP awards.
It's easy for you to be enthusiastic. I keep seeing these pitchers walk out there, and all I see are 0 for 4s, 0 for 5s, because that's all I did against most of them.
This is it. They're down to their last out. Lou Brock at the plate with 2 down, and the American League leading it 7-2. They played 3 innings here. Brock, to protect himself, could be the final out. Brooks Robinson. Darrell Evans. And that's going to be the ball game. The Upper Deck Heroes of Baseball All-Star Game. We've got a lot more coming your way. We'll have interviews with many of the players here in San Diego as they come out to greet one another. We'll be right back. There's your final.